Hi everyone, it's wonderful to be here with you all. My name is Linda. I'm the founder of Chocolat Couture, a sustainable petite clothing brand that I'm excited to share with you. Our capsule wardrobe is all about eco-friendliness with a focus on helping you find your own unique styles. As someone who has always loved sewing and knows firsthand how challenging it can be to find clothes that fit petites, I'm thrilled to offer a solution that prioritizes sustainability without compromising on style. Today, I'm joined by my dear friend Vicki, who happens to be the founder of the Fashion Business Coach, and also our business consultant and technical designer. She's an expert in the fashion industry and has been instrumental in bringing our first collection to life. During our chat, Vicki will share her insights on our brand journey from inspiration to reality, as well as share some helpful tips for aspiring fashion entrepreneurs. In fact, I personally benefit greatly from Vicki's online fashion startup and marketing courses, which she offers through her website. At the end of our interview, I will share an affiliate link for anyone interested in learning more about how to start their own fashion brand. So let's get started.
Linda, thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it. And that's so kind of you to say all those wonderful things. You're amazing to work with and such a nice person. So really excited to be here. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Vicki. I'm really excited for our topic too. And I'm sure our audience will find this insightful. And before we dive in, I just wanted to let you know that some of the questions really intend to pick your brain. So
okay, go for it.
Please take your time with your answers. And if you need to take a break, feel free to do so. And if you need to take a sip of water, feel free to do so as well.
Amazing. Thank you so much. You're so thoughtful. I love that.
Thank you so much. Okay, I'm going to check my notes for the questions. So speaking of your expertise, I wanted to share a recent conversation that we had. As a newcomer to the fashion industry, I'm always looking to learn and grow. When I was considering expanding on size range, you gave me invaluable advice on the importance of focus on petites and providing them with the best fit possible. Can you elaborate on why this is so important and how it helps us connect with our target audience?
Yeah, absolutely. And honestly, it's such a common thing because so many new brands, they want to cater to everyone. They want to be really inclusive. And I love that. I'm a big, strong advocate for inclusivity and trying to cater to as many people as we can. But as a small brand, it's usually better to focus on the people who are essentially most in need of something. And in your case, you know, as a petite customer, you've seen that there's that need there. There's things that you've wanted to buy, things that you wanted to have as a sustainable option that haven't been available. So that's why I was saying for this first iteration, this first collection, to really focus in on those petites, because you know that market so well as a petite woman yourself. And also, you know how much of a struggle you found buying things that you love sustainably. So just being able to focus in on that. And that way, with everything that you do with the brand, you've got some amazing content on the blog that really speaks to those experiences that you've had and trying to help others in those positions. But also when it came to things like designing the collection and the fit, it meant that you could really tailor it specifically for petites. Because what I've noticed, and I'll be honest, I'm on the total opposite end of the spectrum. I'm super tall, but what I've noticed happens for me in the tall sector and then petite women, often brands will just design a collection and then for the taller people, they'll just make it a bit longer, and then for the shorter people, they'll just kind of chop the hem off a little bit. And it doesn't really, that's not really a solution, right? When we are petite, we've got all these different considerations. We don't want to have something that's just been chopped off at the bottom. We need to think, well, okay, we're a petite frame. What about the waistline? That's going to have to move up as well. What about the armhole drop? That needs to come up as well. And there's all of these different parts to tailoring the fit specifically for a petite woman, which is why I thought it would help to focus on them so that we can get it perfectly right for them.
Yeah, I really like that you bring up the topic of getting the right proportion for different frames. And that's why we spend so much time on the tab pack. And so that actually brings up my second question. So when it comes to fashion manufacturing, Just want to introduce to our audience. When it comes to manufacturing, a tech pack is like a manual that outlines the important details for creating clothes, such as the materials, colors, and the construction methods. And thanks to your expertise and your excellent work in perfecting our tech pack, we can ensure that we produce high quality clothes that not only look great, but also last a long time. And that actually is our goal, is to give our customers a product that is premium. So can you share some of the key details that we consider in our tech packs to ensure our customer satisfaction? And we would love to hear about you for this.
Yeah, great question. And I love that you wanted to do tech packs, because so many people think, oh, we'll just skip that, it's not important. But when you're really committed to the customer and making a great product for them, you want to make sure that all of those little details are thought about and not just left to someone's imagination or whatever they feel like doing on that day. So that tech pack really meant that, and I know you've done so much extensive research, and then I've obviously done a whole lot of measuring to see what's happening in the market to make sure that the measurements in the products are as close to perfect as possible. And then as you go through the sample development phase, that'll get adjusted and perfected even further. And yeah, the idea really is to just make sure that everything was completely tailored. So I know that you've got Siobhan, who's an amazing print designer, on board as well. And just thinking about things like the scale of the print and how that's going to sit on a petite frame. And I know you've got some amazing blog content on that as well, like the styles and things that suit petite frames. So just making sure that all of those things were detailed in the tech pack. So everything from the measurements to the type of sewing that we're using to the print scale. What else have we got in there? The fabric choices. There's a lot of different things that we had to think about and just make sure that they're all meeting those two standards of the high quality for petites and also that sustainability aspect as well.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your insight. And I really love to hear that everyone in the team put a lot of effort. So I really appreciate that.
For sure.
And so continuing from my previous question, at one point during the tech pack phase, we spent a lot of time perfecting the elastic detail, the elastic race for our product, the dress. So we even research and compare different materials like string elastic thread and the regular elastic to ensure we make the right decision. This process is very consuming, but we knew that it was important to create a premium product that it would last. So Vicki, could you please explain to us why it's important for us to make a premium product and how the design iteration process we went through for the elastic race help us achieve this?
I love that you're bringing that to everyone's attention, because I think, when someone buys one of your amazing products, they're not going to think, oh, like, I bet this elastic was well thought through. It's just like, oh, there's some elastic in it, if they even register it at all. And that's one thing that really has to go into a great product, that there was such detailed conversations about every little aspect of the design. And the elastic was one that came up because it was very integral to your original design, both from the style that it creates, but also so that we didn't have to have like bulky fastenings in. It was easy for people to put on and things like that. So it was very integral. But then at the same time, it's amazing how something can cause, I wouldn't say big problems, but more like all of these different conversations. And I'm guessing you coming into the fashion industry probably didn't imagine you'd have such long conversations about elastic specifically. But essentially what it came down to was that the thinner elastic types, the customer would be able to see part of them, and then trying to get a color match so that it wasn't, sometimes, I don't know if you've ever looked at like a cheap product and maybe it's got like a waistband in one color and then the pant legs are in another color and it doesn't match, and it just you maybe don't think, oh, these colors are off, but there's something about it that doesn't feel premium, doesn't feel high quality. And that's why we had all these conversations about the elastic, because we wanted that confirmation from the supplier that they could match the colors and it would look and feel premium for you, dear customers. But we weren't convinced because of the process of dyeing different materials. It gets extremely complicated and quite scientific, and they just couldn't achieve it. So by changing the elastic, we could make sure that yes, we could get the match that we needed, we could get the functionality that we needed, and people wouldn't be thinking, oh, this elastic looks really cheap, it's the wrong color, anything like that. So, and again, that's just one example, isn't it? There was a lot of different details in the designs that we had to really work through to make sure that it was the best that it could be for the customer and the end product.
Yes, that's why I really love your work, because you always bring up the topic of building trust between us and the customer. And I think that is actually a very important topic, not only for fashion brand, but also for others. So that actually brings up to my fourth question. And I would love to get your insights on ensuring customer satisfaction through the order fulfillment process. We take pride in delivering high quality clothes to our customers and have several steps in place. For example, careful packaging and quality checks. But we would love to hear your insights on any additional steps that we can take to ensure customer satisfaction. We believe that this will not only benefit our customer, but also help other brands like us to improve their own order fulfillment process.
Yeah, and again, it's one that's really, really important, but a lot of customers wouldn't think about it. They just click the button to buy online, and then the parcel magically turns up a few days later. But the reality is there's a lot of processes that go on behind the scenes. And for example, even just having that fabric going from one place to another, and then the production happens, that's usually been passed through a few different people, because we've got lovely prints that are on the products that need handling by one person, sewing by another, then of course to make it to yourself, Linda, and then to go out to other people. So through all of these different processes, we've got steps in place to make sure that we're checking the quality each step of the way. And that tech pack that Linda referred to earlier, that's basically got in there all these different checkpoints for different things and our expectations, our quality expectations. And so when somebody at the factory or a distribution center, whoever it might be, is looking at that document and then looking at the product, they can check things off essentially and make sure, yes, this print does look like what it's supposed to look like. Well, it does match the color reference that we've given. The seams are finished like this. So there's all of those different little steps that everybody on the project goes through, whether they are on the factory side of things, on the customer fulfillment side of things, or me just working remotely. We can all stay on board, and we're all looking at that same document to make sure that all of those decisions that we've spent very many hours over are being followed. And of course, every product's getting looked at, getting checked to make sure that it goes through all of these different checks to make sure that at the end of the day, the customer is happy, which is what it's all about.
Oh, thank you. Thank you so much for your insights. Yeah, as someone who has come from a history of being a customer to a brand owner, I have to walk in the customer's shoes when I am doing my business, and also bring up that trust topic again. So my last question for you is, as someone who went from being a customer to a brand owner, I know firsthand that it's not always easy to take that leap. But if you have a dream and a passion for fashion, it's definitely worth pursuing. So Vicki, as someone who has years of experience in the fashion industry, I think our customer would love to hear your advice for who are thinking about starting their own fashion brand. If you could share just one piece of advice, what would it be?
It's not a very glamorous piece of advice, I'm sorry, but it's the truthful, honest answer. And that is to put in the work. Because a lot of people, and you are not one of these people, Linda, you've been amazing, but a lot of people, they get attracted to fashion by the luxury and the glamour and the lifestyle. And don't get me wrong, that part is amazing. However, there is a lot of stuff that needs to happen to get there. So I guess my advice is be a little bit realistic about the hard work that comes before the payoff. And like I say, you've been amazing at that. You've always put in the work and put in the effort. And I've always, as a coach, I love nothing more than people who are, nice and excited to put in the work and the effort. So that's the main thing. It's definitely, as you've experienced, Linda, it's not an overnight success type industry. There's a lot of little things that we have to work out first off. before we can go ahead and enjoy that glamour and that success, if that's what you're into. But yeah, putting in the work for sure. But if you are willing to do that, I truly believe that anyone can have a successful fashion brand. It's just a case of taking it step by step and not trying to skip any corners, or cut any corners, I should say.
Thank you so much, Vicki. I hope you all enjoy our conversation and find them insightful and informative. As promised, I want to share with you an affiliate link to Vicki's step-by-step online fashion startup and marketing courses through her website, thefashionbusinesscoach.com. And I want to be transparent with that this is an affiliate link. So if you decide to join Vicki's courses, I may earn a commission at no extra cost to you. However, I only recommend products that I would be happy to use myself. As someone who has a full-time job and not enough time to do extensive research, I found Vicki's courses extremely beneficial. They provide a clear roadmap and actionable steps towards building my own fashion brand. It's like following a recipe. So if you want to pursue your own fashion dream, I highly recommend checking out her courses. And if you have any questions or comments, feel free to leave them below. Again, thank you so much for joining us today. I hope you have a wonderful day. Bye.